kids don't learn cursive anymore, right? I just heard
I
that.
can't imagine they would.
Interesting.
Why? What do you write? What do you handwrite ever? And especially, what do you handwrite in gibberish?
I write a lot of notes.
To yourself?
Well, because I need to write notes.
Yeah, but you could type those.
I mean,
It would probably be better for
sometimes,
everybody if you did.
technically.
I
no,
can't imagine
like,
learning cursive. What's a sign checks? Because in like 10 years, it'll be put your fingerprint on there. You know, that's all you're good.
I think cursive's like faster than block lettering or something like that. I don't know. It's really
The way
weird
I
to
do
me.
block lettering, all
Yeah.
the letters touch anyway, but there's no cursive happening.
Fake cursive. No, like I'm not saying I do it perfectly, but I definitely write and I definitely connect the letters and know how to do it. And like it would be really weird for me to not be able to do that or something. It feels weird. And I wonder, like, can kids read it? Are they like, what is this? What is this foreign language?
There's still
that you're
people's
giving to me?
because people's handwriting are all different, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you compare my handwriting to your handwriting, 100% different animal, like completely.
Yeah.
And the same way goes for cursive, but now it's like once removed. So if you have
Right.
someone that has weird writing to begin with and that's cursive,
Yeah.
they're typing Spanish, and you're like, I don't know
No,
what you're
like,
saying at all.
that's
All
what
the
I
time,
mean.
people send things to me. I'm like, what the hell is
I
this?
wonder if people like wouldn't even know that that's a G though.
Sure.
That it could even be one. That's even how J's work.
Like a capital Z to
Capital
a kid
Q
is
or
like, what the
whatever.
hell's that?
Yeah, that's freaky. Because it hasn't been that long. It's only been a short amount of time, and we had like multiple penmanship courses, or
Sure.
something like that. And now kids just.
I remember
completely
being
skip
held
that.
after school because my penmanship was bad, and I had to practice my penmanship.
F's.
Everything.
I go above and below.
But like, it gets used so infrequently in life that I can't imagine they're wasting tax dollars teaching kids this shit. Because
Yeah, I don't know.
even right now, if you were to do a cursive Z, I'd be like, it takes me two, 3 times. I have a Z in my goddamn name, and I
Yeah.
still can't mentally think of it because of how infrequently I actually write it real. Like, if you say write
Yeah.
your name, I just scribble some bullshit and I throw it in there.
I just go on a piece of paper.
More or less,
Understood.
put some ink in one nostril and just sneeze it onto the paper.
Yeah, it's not even doing it perfectly though. It's just like I'm totally aware of it, and like if I had to write something in like with a Z or a Q, I might use like a block Z or Q, and then just have the rest of the
Okay.
word. I kind of gravitated towards that anyway at some point, but it's freaky to me that already kids are already not doing that. It seems weird
Yeah.
because like school should be for school stuff and where you learn things, which you're not going to need. That's not the point of school. If
It's
you
just
only,
to keep you off the streets and out of the bars.
Yeah, and it's to train you up as a person. You learn
Barely doing
things,
that.
things
Something
about
that
the
someone said to
world.
me recently that I don't know if it's true, but it blew
Yeah.
my mind a little bit where they're like, because kids now start on their computers and their bullshit so
Yeah.
early,
Oh, yeah.
but they're learning so much less than we
terrifying.
ever did because
Yeah.
everything is like more or less happening for you. So
Yeah.
there's a lot less like this kid's a programmer, this kid's a blah blah, they're doing this. Like they don't understand simple things. Like no one I try to teach people hotkeys like
oh no,
and they just don't know them. And like
Really?
not that I'm a fucking
I was
savant
gonna
with
say
this
'cause
shit.
I'm usually yelling at you to use hotkeys.
Uh,
and these people don't even know.
like-
yeah,
like control searches, I use those all the time, and like I tell people about that, and they're like, "How do you do that? Is that specific for this application?" I go, "It's the fucking computer, you bastard."
do you mean what? Like Control F?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've made Control F jokes. So I work in like an office building where everyone knows things,
Mm-hmm.
but even there, it's terrifying. No, kids don't seem to know how things work on a fundamental level. Like that should be the bonus of living in the future. Is all kids should have a general understanding of like, well, that's on the hard drive, and this is RAM, and that's different. Like you should have a general right because it's like in your face all day. You should kind of get it. And people still don't, which is because there should be some trade-off, right? You skip cursive, now you have more time for what? Nothing.
Yeah, kinda.
Like how to spot if this is not really your bank's website. That'd be a good class, right? Shit like that.
Yeah. I said something to somebody, so like now and I always do this in my head when you're like which one was the right one? And I flip it back and forth,
Ooh.
but I think screenshot is now what they're calling it, but I called it what did I call it?
Capo Grabo.
Yeah, I might have called it a screen cap. As I was like, oh,
is that called?
like screen cap that, and like they had no idea what I was talking about.
Like you
'cause
were
I didn't-
saying knapsack instead
Yeah.
of backpack.
Yeah,
I got beat up for that once.
you deserved it.
I didn't get beat up for that now.
I was 4. You were.
The fuck are you saying? Screen cap. I've heard that's still fine, right? That's not that weird.
Because like aside from like print screen, and I feel like,
What does
and I
screen
could be
cap
wrong,
use?
but I thought I had like on my keyboard now it says print screen, but I thought I had screen cap on one
Well,
of
it's like
my
a screen capture. I feel like
yeah. Well,
that's
that's what I explained it as. It's short for screen capture.
when did
It's
that?
capturing what's on your screen.
There's words like that though, where you're like, "Fuck, I'm old. I said the wrong thing." We don't say that anymore. I'm trying to think of where screen cap was more popular and why I've heard it so much and where it went.
Screen capture is definitely more of like, oh, you're going to be video like recording your
Techno,
screen,
computer
but
man.
it's still applicable, and like it
Yeah.
should be examples, words, English.
Like people have said stuff like, "Oh no, like go on the website. They have a great like documentation. There's a bunch of screen caps of like how to do it." Like
Yeah.
I've heard that sentence said, out loud like this year. It isn't like that's
Yeah,
antiquated.
like if you were to say screen grab, I would still know what you meant.
yeah, you'd be able to figure it out at the very least.
Context clues, my friend. I feel like that's something that we don't teach anymore.
No, it's
There's not
terrifying.
like, and that was like the fun part of school, where like they like had like a little riddle bullshit thing where it was like, all right, you didn't do your homework on vocab, but you're gonna have a sentence. All right, try to figure out what this
Oh.
word means. I got this.
I wonder if they do vocab and shit like
They
that.
have to do vocab. That's still part of the SATs.
Okay.
At least I think it
the
is.
SATs have changed. I'm so old.
The
that,
so
that
that's
I took,
something.
I took the 1600 SATs.
As did I.
Oh God, how old are we? I thought you were not that old.
No, they changed.
no,
they
we're
changed a
fucked.
year or two after me.
Okay. In my head, they changed it a year or two after me. I don't know why I feel like that.
Yeah, they've
Oh
changed
my God.
twice though, I believe. Didn't they go from like 21 to 24?
I thought it was just 24. I have no idea though.
Regardless,
The SATs were a thing where
there are
like,
a lot more now.
the second you're fucking done with them, I don't give a fuck anymore. You're gone. Fuck that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's something that I think is so funny now that like you meet certain people and you're like, well, what'd you get on the SATs? And they say like, like
A million, and you're
Like-
like, oh my God.
no. Usually I'm shocked the other way. They're like I got a 1020, and I'm like all right, 1020, respectable. And I'm like, wait a minute, what year? Was that out of 1400, 2000, 40, 20? What the fuck?
He's like, was that a
Are you opposed to?
was that a 17,000? I didn't study my analogies.
Yeah.
No, like, so do you even know how it changed? Should I even explore that?
The SAT?
Did they add
They
more
added
sections?
essay portions,
Oh.
I believe.
More like SATs.
Like actual like reading comprehension. Like, can you read and then write about it?
wow. Who the fuck grades those?
I can't even imagine they're graded by real people
They're
because
computer graded actually.
well, I don't think it does.
Terrifying.
But I picture like it's like 17 like college students who are like adjuncts like. All right, he wrote like 3 pages, fucking 80,
I see some commas
60,
in here. It's pretty
10.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, because who the fuck?
All of his sentences seem to begin with capitals. That's well, not that. Well, okay, whatever. Okay, good.
Because how do you even judge like these things? I don't.
Yeah.
Because especially when it's like
Standards.
a free writing class,
Uh,
like, what are you writing? Because like you look at like certain scholars, you're like your writing style's really weird. Well, that's because I write asymmetrical diametrics with bullshit answers. I'm like, maybe this guy does that. Maybe he's smarter than you. I don't
maybe
know.
He's the smartest guy, and it seems maybe they seem so dumb because they're so smart.
That
What?
is a thing.
I know.
Like just picture like the youngest age you are, where you see like really fancy math. You're like, there's fucking letters in this guy's math, moron.
I was very smart at the very beginning.
You're like 3 months old,
I understand your
glasses on.
I understand. Yes, with a lab coat,
I came out this way.
crawling around in a lab coat, trying to do stuff. No, I understand your concept though, where you're just like,
No, there are people
That's
you're
not a
saying shit
word.
that's so beyond what you can even understand that it sounds ridiculous. And
Yeah.
that's something that I think I blame schools for a lot of that stuff too, because schools do a thing where like they teach you a rule, and then like the next like grade in
Yeah,
school
yeah.
they say that rule's actually false. We just say that because you're too stupid to comprehend the real
No,
thing.
it's
This is the real thing.
it's a huge problem because I feel like some people don't get to the second or third like,
Yes,
stage
many don't.
for like various reasons. Yeah, I was shocked even that like no one. This is not for whatever, but like, have you heard about how like planes work?
yeah,
Right. So like the wing has a certain shape and it takes the air longer to go over the top than the bottom. Have you heard that?
yeah.
The principle of lift and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Total bullshit.
I know. I was gonna say
Has
that's
absolutely
that's the
nothing to
fake-
do with it at all. Einstein, I believe it's Einstein, or someone was making a very cruel joke on like a very official place. Was like, okay, cool, so let's make like awesome wings, and started to like design some stuff, and they were miserable failures because he was like, no, I can use science to make it take much longer for the air to go over the top, ha ha ha, and it was horribly like they were tried to model them or something, and it was totally wrong. And he was like, what gives? And then some aerospace, specialist person was like, that isn't how it works. No, it's like the or whatever.
I remember,
it's terrifying.
and
And just to cap it off, it's not like, well, they lied to you and made you think that. Like, planes fly upside down. You've seen that as a kid. You saw that at like the air shows. How would that work if that's how wings worked? And millions of children are just walking around now as adults thinking that it works.
I remember somebody
no one has ever
explaining that
questioned
once,
Yeah.
and they said, well, when a plane is flying upside down, it's always going slightly down. And I was like, oh, all right. It's just using the momentum it has and speed to go forward through the air, and it's diving, but it can reverse itself.
It should be going. It should be going as down as it was going up when it was just going straight.
Maybe it is.
Maybe
I
we're
remember
all
somebody
moving.
explaining this, though, and I don't know at all if this is, I'm sure it's not right, but I remember somebody saying, like, well, that's wrong. It's not about the wind going on top. You know what it is? And they're like, what is it, Mr. Wizard? It wasn't Mr. Wizard. It was just like an example. And he's like, nobody knows.
No one knows.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, we don't know why it works, but it does. We give you bullshit reasons so that you'll shut up. And I was like, huh.
So I have heard/read it has to do with the angle of incidence of like the wing.
Sure.
And that's the only thing that I remember. This has happened to me several times where I'm told something's bullshit. I go, haha, I'm going to be the smart one. And I go look up the real thing. And I go, okay, I think I got it. And then it begins to fade from my mind. And it's this terrifying Twilight Zone episode where I go, oh no, this is why they did this. This is why. Now I'm dumb again. Because now I forget it. There's a few things like this, and I can't think of the other ones. But they're similarly dumb, common things. Where it's like, ha ha ha, actually, whatever the fuck.
Oh, to pump oxygen down to the bottom of the, you have to use the, and you have a heart attack.
But it is a slow, terrifying thing. Where like 2 days later you could have asked me, and I would have fucked it up a little. 2 weeks later I would have been like, there's a part, and then something, but then I have this, and then 2 months later it's gone. Every time.
I feel that way
I've done
with
it like
riddles,
3 times.
where someone will be like, this is that, and this is this, but
Planes
this is that. Why
are a
is this
riddle.
this? And I'm like, I know it's a trick, but I can't remember why.
Are you allowed to touch the light bulb? Riddles infuriate me.
Yeah.
As do planes.
Sure. I actually love riddles. I do hate planes, though.
You hate being in planes. You
Yeah,
don't hate the fact that they work.
Well, I don't hate that they exist. No, they're fine. They do bring me things, but nah, I don't have a big joy in that. There's no joy in soy, and I name my plane soy.
Soy plano?
Well, it's a plain soy. If you maybe to glaze it with some barbecue, I might be a little more down, but
It's a beanie curd.